Welcome to Elliott's PT podcast. I'm here to help you find your balance and live your best life guilt-free. I don't believe there is a one-size-fits-all approach for health and fitness. We're all different and we need to find out what works for us. I'm passionate about helping people make realistic, long-term lifestyle changes that they will stick to and they will take with them forever. I don't believe in crazy diets or short-term fixes. We all need to live and find a perfect balance in diet and exercise that suits our individual needs. I want to help you find your exercise mojo, feel great and achieve wonderful things. Here is Elliot's PT podcast by Renae Elliott. Hello, and welcome back to Elliott's PT podcast. Now, the end of year is fast approaching, and I don't know if you're like me, but I found myself feeling a little bit overwhelmed with how quickly everything is, how quickly the time is going by and the weekends are going by, and it's really, going to really come into that busy season. That really festive, crazy end of year. Now, I really thought I was getting in pretty early and planning some things. Planning some things out, and I planned our little get together for the members of Elliott's PT. So I planned that, and I thought, yep, I've got this. I've got in. I think it was October that I put it out there, and people were already booked for things. And I thought I was so early. So it is really, really creeping up. Now, what I want everyone to start thinking about, and this is something that I've been thinking about in the last couple of weeks, is because it is a busier time of year and all of those other things, lots of things seem to go out the window. So exercise is one of them. Exercise tends to go out the window. People's eating plans or, what they're eating tends to go out. And the other thing is stress levels increase. And this really doesn't have to be the case. So I want you to start really thinking about what's happening for you in the next couple of months and how can you be proactive about it and be on top of it. If for me, staying fit and active is something that's really important to me, and it makes me feel good, and I don't want to feel crappy, and so. Letting exercise and those things go to the side is definitely, it's not what I want to do. But I understand with, all the events and everything else that come up, it's really easy to just push them all aside. So this is not what I want for you to do this year. I want you to start thinking ahead and start planning for the next couple of months. Now, what I actually have done for myself is I printed off a calendar, because I also found we were getting invited to different things. And, Cooper reminded me last week that there was only 3 weeks left of school. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready for any of this. I'm not ready for any of this stuff. So I printed off just from my computer. I just printed off, like November, December, January. And I started looking at, I started writing out what things were on, because I also find with me is that we get busy and, there's cross wires between me and my husband, and we don't know which things are going on. So I thought if I put it on paper, so this is a first for me. I thought if I put it on paper, and I've stuck it inside the pantry cupboard, because we're both in there, every day. So I've stuck it in there, and then we could kind of see what things are coming up to be a little bit prepared, and also know like people that people are saying, can you do this, or we've got this on this night, and I don't know what we've been invited to, and so I've got it written there in front of my face, so I can't double check. I'm a pen and paper girl, so I'm not as good as, I know some people put everything into their phone, but I'm not great with that. I forget, or I forget to look. So I'm better if I can see it on pen and paper. So I guess for you, I would suggest do what works best for your personality, but I like to have things on paper. So Christmas doesn't have to be a blowout. It doesn't have to be, it is, and we're in the middle of November now, but you could start actually really preparing for the next few months and looking at things and looking at what's coming up, and maybe realizing that there are things you can say no to. There are things that maybe that, you need to, like on the weekend just past, my daughter had 2 birthdays on the same day and 2 birthday parties. And it was quite stressful. And so, well, it was fine juggling between the two, but somebody else had asked us to go out that night. And I said, oh, we can't. I said, I just knew that having those 2 birthday parties, then to go out that night was just going to be too much for the kids. And I didn't want to deal with the hangover of that. So what I want you to think about is start looking at what things are coming up and how can you prepare yourself better for that in the weeks coming up. So you could be preparing yourself better by, maybe, looking at what's coming up, and let's say that you've got a busy weekend, well then make sure that you keep yourself chilled during the week, or you don't add as much into your week. So look at how you can plan ahead, or don't say maybe, okay, so we've got this on and that on at night time or in the afternoon. Well, I'm going to make sure I have a more quieter morning to balance out. So I would be starting to look at your life and planning things in that way. And yes, you can say no, and yes, also, on the weekend we had 2 parties. Lee went to one, I went to the other. So we split up our time that way just to make it easier. So this is what I was saying, is start looking at what is coming up in the next few months and be prepared. Now, I want you to think about what are your non-negotiables. So eating well is a non-negotiable for me, because I know when I don't eat well, how crappy I feel. So that's a non-negotiable. Exercising is a non-negotiable for me. So look at some of those things, and it's really important to fit in some form of meditation, because that really helps me de-stress. So what are the things, it is a busy time of year, what are the things that help you de-stress, and what are your non-negotiables? So how can you fit those in and plan them around? Okay, so I always believe that start your exercising, do it more at the start of the week. Start it at the start of the week, because if you get your things done, if you say, I want to do a minimum of 3 workouts a week, start it at the start of the week. Get them in. Don't leave it to the end of the week, because then sometimes you never know what else crops up. If you get most of your workouts in at the start of the week and you get extra in at the end of the week, then that's a bonus. But we just don't want to get to the end of the week and be like, damn it, I still need to get this much. So you want to start planning your life that way. I know for me, there's just more things going on in the evenings than what normally do, and it will be even more in a few weeks when school finishes. I know it'll be even more. I'll be more confused because the kids will be home. So I want to really be prepared for that, and I want to make sure that I fit my workouts in. Now, I actually did something a couple of weeks ago, and I ordered in a food service to get food delivered. And I just thought, just for the next few months, it just takes a couple of stresses away. It means I'm still going to be eating good food. I don't have to stress about cooking. It takes away a lot of cleaning up. I just ordered the food service for me and Lee. But I just thought for the next month or so, this would probably really help us out. So I'm being proactive in thinking about what's coming up in the next few months. I don't want to be feeling tired and overwhelmed and so busy that I just don't have time to eat proper food. So that's why I've ordered a food service to be delivered every week, and that just takes that pressure away. I know I have good food coming in, and actually on Sunday just gone, lots of times on the Sundays, my younger brother comes over, and we were sitting there, and I was sitting and talking, and I said to him, because I've ordered this food service in, I can sit and talk, where normally on a Sunday I would be prepping food, but I didn't need to, because I had, I already have the food for me and Lee organised. So just look at, is there some of those things that you can do that is going to save you time, but take some stress away. I just know with me, when I get busy, and lots of times when there's lots of things going on, I can't be bothered to cook, especially if we get home late or any of those things. So this has just taken a really big stress away. It's the first time I've done it in a long time, because I always think, oh no, I can make the food myself, and then I know what's in it and all this other stuff. But they're all calorie controlled, and you can see what's in them. But I'm really glad I did it, and I can already see the benefit in how it is taking a stress away. So, which then means I could focus, I know that that's kind of sorted. I could focus more on the things that, the things that I want to. I can, be there for the kids and take them to their events and all the things that they've got going on, and I know that I've got good food waiting for me at home. So that's what I want you to think about. What are some things like that you could do that are going to help you out? With exercise, I would be planning your exercise. I find, but it's up to you, I find that more people are more inclined to make excuses in the evening or the afternoons of why they can't fit in a workout or any of those things. So I suggest to get the workout done in the morning. If I get up and I get the workout done first thing in the morning, then I know I've done something. If I get anything else in additionally, then again, that's a bonus. So fit what you can in the morning. And whatever else you can get in after is fine, but you at least know that you've done something. And always remember, once you've done your workout, you feel so much better for it. If you're feeling like when we go away on holidays, I actually get more exercise in when I'm on holidays than what I do when I'm home. I know people find, they go on holidays and they don't exercise at all. But for me, I want to live a life that I'm really balanced, and that I don't want to be all or nothing, So what I do when I'm home, when I go on holidays, I pretty much replicate a lot of it. So put in your workouts. They're really important. Get that daily movement in and all that, because it makes you feel so much better. And always remember, when we get our workout in, everything else runs so much smoother. So, I always see, what I see happen, I've seen this happen so often through the years, is that exercise goes out the window. So we get busy and we start going, I can't be bothered to exercise, or I'm too tired, I'm not going to do this, any of those things. So I see people do that, and then I see them, so then they're feeling like they're not exercising, so they're feeling more lazier. So then the food starts going out the window because they can't really be bothered cooking, or they're tired, or or maybe they're out drinking more. So then the food goes out the window. And then that goes out the window, and then they feel even worse, and then they stop drinking their water, and they stop going for walks or any of those stuff. So it's like a bit of a slippery slope. And I really find that by staying active and keep on moving, it makes such a difference to so many other things. And Christmas doesn't have to be a time of year where we get to January and we feel like, our buttons are bursting on our pants and that we've put so much weight on. That doesn't have to be you. It can be that we get to January, we have had a great time, we have celebrated through Christmas, we've, been out to lots of parties and functions, and we've, eaten lots of food and drunk lots of wine. We've really enjoyed ourselves, but we've also, not blown out. We've done all this, and we are just exactly the same as what you are now. It doesn't have to be that you get to January and you be like, I've put on 5 kilos. It doesn't have to be that way, and it is not that way if you be proactive and start thinking about how you can get on top of it. So that's the things that I've started to do. So I've preparing what things are coming up, and I'm being mindful of what I say yes or no to. I tend to say yes to everything, and then I go, we've overwhelmed ourselves, so I'm not doing that. I'm being mindful of, I've ordered in a food service, so that takes one pressure away, that I don't have to think about it, and I am making a focus on making sure I'm fitting in my workouts. And for me, if I say I'm going to do it in the afternoon, things just always tend to crop up in the afternoon. So it's better for me to do something in the morning. And if I get anything else done in the afternoon, that's a bonus. So that is what I would start thinking about for the next month or till January. So it is also really important, especially during this busy time of year, to take some time for self-care. So take some time, for yourself, and make sure you are, because it is a busy time of year, there is, coming up with school holidays. It can be depending, you can be busy trying to, if you're working full time, then you're trying to organize care, dropping them off differently, getting them to other places, all of that. It can be really, really stressful. So it's really important to acknowledge that, but to start to be proactive about it. So how can I take that stress away? How can I make sure that I'm working on my stress? And I know that you would have heard me say before, but meditation is so amazing for this, and it has really, really helped me out. It is something that I didn't really value, to be honest. I didn't value it. I heard a podcast a couple of years ago that talked about how people that were long-term meditators, and they defined a long-term meditator as somebody that had meditated for more than 5 years, that they were more likely to live longer. And their brain was less likely to have Alzheimer's and all of those things if they were meditative. So when I heard that, because my whole goal was about living a long life, it kind of made my ears prick up. And so that was something that I, so I started prioritizing meditation. And then when my family came down with COVID at the start of the year, I somehow missed it. Don't know how, but I somehow missed it. When they all came down with COVID, I prioritized meditation as a form of stress management during that kind of stressful period. And I felt so amazing for it. And then when we got out of that stressful time, I went just kind of back to normal, and I didn't meditate as much because life was in the way, and I really noticed a difference. So since having that thing I was able to notice a difference, and now I really prioritize it. So that's something that really helps me with stress management. The other thing that you can do is, it doesn't have to be you have to go meditate for 20 minutes or an hour or whatever else, but you can just look at your breathing. So slowing your breath down, and letting your body know that you're out of fight or flight will really be beneficial. And you can do that while you're driving. I know the other day my kids are fighting in the car, and we had to be somewhere, and they were arguing over something silly, and I was like, I felt I was at the end of my tether, but I just took a big deep breath and just really slowed my breathing down. So prioritize your self-care, and self-care can be, making sure that you are having that time for yourself. For me, getting out and just having a walk, all of those things is really, really important to me, and staying on top of it so that we don't let the stress build up. And because it's a busy time of year. There is lots going on. I know with me, with my kids, if we have later nights, they get tired. My kids love a routine. So, routines kind of they can go a little bit out the window. So it can, with tiredness, it can be a little bit stressful. So making sure that you're putting time in for self-care so you can be the best version of yourself for your kids. When I'm doing those things, I'm a lot calmer. I'm more receptive and all these things. So that's why, prioritizing exercise and self-care, like meditation and those types of things, it's really, really important to me. And so I would start thinking about how you could put that into your life now. Now, setting, the new year comes, or I know some people, you might be thinking about, what do I want to do in the new year and all of this, and it's coming up, but I want you to start being proactive about it. So I want you to think about what you can start doing for the new year now. Don't wait. If you are like, I'm going to start exercising in the new year, don't wait till the new year. Start now. Get moving now. Start doing something now, because you will only thank yourself in the new year, and you're only putting off the inevitable. Just start it now. You'll feel so much better for it. And if you start now, in 6 or 8 weeks' time, look how much further you're going to be than what you would be if you started, in the new year. The other thing I would like you to start looking at is, where are you? I'm a goal setter, so I like setting goals. I like having them, and I like looking at them and reflecting, and I like to have something to work towards, and that makes me feel more motivated. So I am someone that quite likes setting goals. I set them all year round, and I'm always kind of checking in on myself. Now, were you somebody that set a goal at the start of this year? Now, I want you to reflect back, and had you achieved it? And maybe maybe you haven't taken the time to look back and, realize that you had achieved it, or maybe you haven't achieved it and you're burying your head in the sand. But, everything is a lesson that we can learn, and we can really learn from it and move on. So if you are somebody that had set a goal and you maybe haven't achieved it, maybe look at what you did and what you were doing, and think about we've got to do something different. So if you are somebody that sets the same goal every year, or a similar goal, and you get on this, please don't be one of these goal setting person that, or if you are, let's get off this loop that sets the same goal and then they get a few weeks. What do they say? At least 3 weeks into January, and most of the goals are out the window. So I don't want this to be any of you. So start thinking about, what your goals are. What if you had goals that you wanted to do at the start of the year, and have you achieved them? If you haven't achieved them, do you know what? It's not too late. If you have tried, look at what you were doing. If you had tried something and it hadn't worked, and then you've given up, start thinking about, what have I done before? Nothing ever is not worth doing. Nothing's like, I wasted my time. You didn't waste time at all. That is a learning lesson, and you will learn from that, and you'll move on. Anything that I've done in my life, anything I've achieved, even if I look at how I'm eating now, I didn't change my eating overnight. It was like through little changes over time that have become habit, and that they stick. And that is how you find something that sticks forever. So reflect on what you set out to do at the start of the year, and really look at maybe you well exceeded it. We did a summer shape up program not that long ago, and the idea was to improve their 1 rep max. Now the program went for 8 weeks. We got more than like 4 weeks in, and they had all smashed their 1 rep maxes. They did amazing. It was so amazing. And, so they had done that in less than half of the time that I had expected them to. So maybe you've done better than you thought, but have you actually stopped to look? Have you looked to congratulate yourself and be like, actually, I did really good? Because the other thing is, we live with ourselves all the time. You forget where you're at. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I was looking back, and I was thinking, I have, now things that are so the normal in my life, but they were things that I was wishing for, and that was goals that I was setting to achieve. So it's really important to look back and reflect, and look at, is there anything that you don't want to repeat for the year forward, for the next year, and start thinking about that and start planning it out now. Again, don't wait until the 1st of January to start now. Start looking at, what you would like to do, set your intentions, and start working on it. Because you get your head set into it now. We are doing like a vision board workshop, and the reason that we're starting it now is to set your intentions for the year. We're not waiting till January to do it. We are doing it in December, because we want you to start planning and thinking and getting your head in the right headspace for setting your intentions right for the new year. We don't want to wait until the new year happens. We want you to start doing it now. And that's, start being proactive. Don't wait until the new year and be like, oh, there's so much going on. There's so much going on, I can't think about these things. No, make it a priority. Put yourself first, and start thinking how you can really achieve the things you want to achieve, how you can start working towards them now. And that, the end of this year, next year, we've still got 6 or so weeks left of this year. You can do a lot in 6 weeks. You can achieve a lot. So please start really planning don't wait till the new year to start planning now. The next few months are going to be busy for everybody. So I am asking you to start thinking about it and being proactive about what you do. So be prepared, start planning out, your your non-negotiable. So make exercise your priority. Think about your sleep. And make your sleep. We've got lots of maybe late nights or different things coming up. Get the sleep that you need. Get the sleep. Prioritize that. Put in your self-care. And don't wait for the new year. Start planning on these things now. If you think that this podcast would help somebody, please make sure that you share it with them so that they can start being proactive about their goals and their new year and start working on it now. And if you would like any help with setting these goals and setting these intentions, please make sure that you reach out, because we have lots of programs to offer that could help you with these things. I will speak to you all soon.